So Samantha advised that I talk to you all the same way I talk to her, and that I explain the situation of moderators in the same way I do to her so that you all better understand, because she actually thinks that most people are decent folk that just want what's best and at the end of the day have a good heart. They just don't understand and don't take the time to because they're busy, because they're exhausted, because they're cynical, blah blah blah. I'm not that optimistic, but for her sake I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and make this video. The comparison I made was based off that picture on the internet that has Alex Jones, David Duke, and myself that goes, the globalists did it, the Jews did it, and then the moderators did it. Now, the thing here is, none of that's untrue. I mean, yes, Alex Jones exploits your fear, your paranoia, and your ignorance. David Duke does in a different way. David Duke does it more out of ideology. Alex Jones does it for money and to have leverage and control and just fucking ban people. He is a moderator, but the issue here is, can we deny any of this? I mean, seriously, the globalists, yes, there are global enterprises that control 99% of the world's resources. Everything on the fucking planet is owned by someone, and those particular someones are few and far between. And not only are they raping the planet of its natural resources, they're doing it while raping you. That takes like at least 2 really big dicks, doesn't it? To fuck the planet and fuck you. And they don't care. They don't care about the third world children that die to rape the resources. They don't care about how you have to go to work every day and struggle just to feed your family. They don't fucking care. And as life gets worse for you and for the third world and for the planet as a whole, as long as they can secure their power and continue running this shit, they're going to. So, are the globalists everything? Are the globalists the Illuminati? Are they some kind of secret society that gets together to rape children and have coke parties and worship Satan? I don't know. I doubt it. They're probably too busy fucking the planet over. They don't have time to worship Satan and be pedophiles. But I'm sure if they wanted to, they could get away with it. They could not only commit those crimes, and, you know, they could do them out in the street. And they're rich and powerful enough to where they could fucking get away with it, and everyone would smile and say, good job raping that child and worshipping the devil. So, no, it isn't just their fault. It's our fault partially for cooperating, but more importantly, just focus on the fact that, yes, there are these corporations. What can we do about them? You know, it's not the fact that there's some kind of bloodline that goes back to the fallen angels and the planet Nibiru and all that shit. That's just excessive. And the same thing happens with David Duke, and he talks about the Jews, and how the Jews are behind everything. One cannot deny the fact that there are a lot of Jews in Hollywood, and in the media, and in other rich and powerful places. Now, does this mean that the Jews purposely want to exterminate all non-Jewish life? I don't think so. I highly doubt it. But there is the truth that Judaism descends from a very xenophobic, very jingoistic mindset, that there is a difference between the Jewish person and the Gentile, and I'm sure that affects their personal psyche, as well as it reflects the actions of, you know, Jewish institutions, and especially Israel, and things like that. But are the Jews solely to blame for all this shit? Of course not. That would be retarded. And I don't think David Duke wants you to think that it's just the Jews behind it. And if Alex Jones is sincere about what he says, I don't think he wants you to think that the globalists are just this secret elite group of satanic wizards. But, you know, they have to exaggerate or else you're not going to fucking listen. Because most of you are ignoramuses and you have short attention spans. So they have to kind of, you know, blow it out their asshole, or else nobody even listens to begin with. And you need to start listening, because it can't last like this forever. And even if it could, why would you want it to? And then we come to moderators. Okay, are moderators solely to blame for my suffering, or your suffering, or anybody's suffering? Of course not. But they do play a huge role in it. The fact is, Google and Facebook do play a huge role in our day-to-day lives. Everything we do on the internet involves Google or Facebook to some extent, and they make a whole lot of money off of it. They know everything they do. We do. They, know us better than we know ourselves, and they use this information and exploit it and give that information to rogue companies that don't give a fuck about us. And that's how identity theft comes about. That's why Anonymous can raid us. That's why all this shit happens, and that's just the surface. The deeper issue is, morally, if we are willing to deal with moderators, then we're going to live in an era where we can't do fucking anything. We're practically already there. Because what freedom of speech do we really have? We don't. The fact that you're so worried about Westboro Baptist Church and what they're doing reflects how you actually feel about freedom of speech. Guess what? The only way you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have freedom of speech is by challenging the notion that you shouldn't do something, or you should be able to do that thing. In other words, you have to be controversial. You have to do something that's fucking disgusting in order to prove that thing is a right. I'm sorry to tell you. So Westboro Baptist Church is actually doing a good thing here. I know you don't want to believe it, but by them pushing the envelope, by them going out and protesting little kids and dead soldiers and things like that, they're showing how far our freedom of speech goes. And it should be able to go that far. We should have those rights, but because when we don't have those rights, somebody is actually going to do the things that they talk about to us, and that's not something that should happen. And that's exactly what happens on the internet. We don't have any rights on the internet, and I want there to be rights on the internet, and you should want those rights too. And if we don't fight for those rights, it's only going to get worse. As the years go on, moderators are going to have a more pervasive element in our lives. The internet is not going away. The internet has become integrated into our day-to-day life, and is only going to become more integrated as time goes on. Eventually, we will do everything online, not just our bills, not just, to look up funny shit, not just everything. Our jobs will be online, our paychecks will be online, there will be no escape from it. And do you really want some fucking cunt moderator ejecting you from that? Ruining your life just because he's having a bad day? No. Nobody wants that, or at least I would hope nobody should want that. I know there's fucking crazy people like Mark Anthony that may just want that, but I would hope to God that you are rational enough to see where we are headed, to see where we are right now, and then be like, well, what's it going to be like 10 years from now? Because I guarantee you, as technology goes on, these moderators are not going to stop thinking the way they do. They're not suddenly going to be like, well, I can't do that because that's immoral. What's going to fucking stop them? You're not going to stop them. So the only thing that's going to happen is they're going to stop you from doing what you want to do. And I guarantee you, no matter what horrible shit you want to do, it's not nearly as horrible as what they plan to do. And they can get away with it. You can't. That's what this is about. That's what I talk about with moderators. Where we have not only a double standard, but they're doing way, way worse shit than you. They're committing fraud. They're committing high-stakes felonies, conspiracy, and they're killing people. They're literally killing people. C from 4chan is responsible for the death of an underage boy, because he killed himself live on IRC chat room, put a gun to his fucking head, and killed himself. And he did not even get so much as a stern lecture from the police department. But you can't go on your Facebook and say, I don't like fags or Jews. No. Really? Fucking really? That's what I'm talking about here. And unlike Alex Jones or David Duke, I don't get paid to say this shit. In fact, when I tried to get paid for it, YouTube screwed me over big time. They never paid me a dime, then they fucking turned around and tried to ban me. So that shows you my sincerity. I have nothing to hide. I am not ashamed of anything I say, and what the things I say will come to pass will, and God willing they don't. I hope to God I am wrong about just how dangerous moderators are. Because I'm sick of living life as it is. I could only imagine if it's as bad as I think it's going to get. So, you know, that's just something you need to think about. Don't think about the shit I say, oh, Jim Profit's so offensive. Oh, you know, Jim Profit laughs at the Connecticut kid deaths. Who the fuck cares? Worry about the living. Worry about what you're going through, what your kids are going through, what your families and friends are going through. Yeah, what happened to those kids was bad, but you know what? There are a lot worse things that could happen, and there are a lot worse things happening. And if you don't do something, they will continue to happen more and more and more. So stop worrying about what I am fucking saying, and worry about what you're saying. Worry about what you're thinking, what you're doing, because you're allowing these things to happen by not speaking out, by not organizing, by not at least bringing it to the fucking attention of every human being you come across, that there are a lot of bad people, and most of them have the power to do a lot more bad. That's all I have to say.